Hey kids, so we're going to look over here how to do this flavor aid lab. You should have been able to get through this much of it. And then the question here, the first thing you have to start thinking about is this dilution. So this is a real thing in chemistry that 2 drops equal 0.1 mils. So ideally, if this squirting water enhancer would have worked, you would have been able to do drops. But unfortunately, that didn't work. But if we could have, you would have seen that 12 drops would equal 0.6 mils, right? Because every 2 drops is 0.1 mils. So that would be 0.6 mils. So if we needed 0.8 mils and every 0.1 mils is 2 drops, this would have required 16 drops, which didn't happen. And then this one, which is 1 mil, if every 2 drops is 0.1 mils, that would have required 20 drops. So that's how you fill in that part. Now for this part, the M2, what you want to do is your M1V1 here in green, so for trial 1, 0.4 and 0.6, is going to equal your M2V2. The M2 is what we're looking for. What's the molarity of what we're making with the flavor enhancer? And in each case, because there was a line drawn on that cup, it was 100 milliliter volume. So V2 is going to be 100 milliliters for all of these. So M1V1 is 0.4 times 0.6, and I can make that green, which it should have been. Let's make that green. And that'll equal M2, which is what we're looking for, times 100 mils. Notice here that since this 0.6 is in mils, then this is allowed to be in mils because they'll cancel being on both sides of the equation. In fact, if I want to put that in here, that's going to be an M, and that's going to be a milliliters. So milliliters is on both sides. Those cancel. This will be molarity, and M2 will be in the units of molarity, so that'll work. So when you multiply 0.4 times 0.6, you get 0.24. As we talked about, they're all 100 mils, so it's 0.24 equals M2 times 100. To bring that M2 on one side by itself, we got to divide both sides by 100, so it's 0.24 divided by 100 mils, and that gives us an M2 of 0.0024 molar. So notice that that's a very small number. Now, down here, you are supposed to figure out the concentrations of each of the lemonades you made, and we assume that all the lemonade is sugar. So to go from grams, molarity is moles over liters. So we want moles over liters for each of these. We're given grams in each case. To convert grams to moles, we need this periodic table moles over grams. And if you add up 6 times 12 and 12 times 1 for hydrogen and 6 times 16 for oxygen, so 6 times 12 is 72, plus 12 plus 6 times 16 is 96. So you add all that, you're going to get 180 grams, and that's in 1 mole. So 3.6 divided by 180 grams will give you how many moles of this there is. And I guess we could do that real quick. I didn't. 3.6 divided by 180. So that'll give you 0.02. So that means there were 0.02 moles in that cup. Now we want the molarity, though, which is moles over liters. Oops. There we go. All right. So this number now is our moles. And for the liters, we're going to use, remember, again, every drink cup had a 0.1 liter or 100 milliliter mark. Now, in this case, we're going to have to use 0.1 liters instead of up here where we were allowed to use milliliters. Milliliters were going to cancel because on both sides they were there. But for this equation, moles over liters, we can't play that game. We have to convert the milliliters to liters. So it's 0.1 liters. So we'll take 0.02 moles, divide by 0.1 liters, and get the molarity for that. And we'll do the same for 9 grams and 14 grams. And what you'll see, if I can just do this real quick, I guess 0.02 is what worked it out, and then divided by 0.1. So the molarity of this first one is 0.2. So this one is 0.2 molar. And notice that that number is significantly larger than this. So this is how much sugar was in this drink mix, in this time, country time lemonade. And here, the molarity of this is actually sugar-free. If you look through all of the flavor enhancers that are available at Target, at least, and Food Lion, the 2 places I looked, you would see that there's no sugar in any of them. So this is not sugar. And in fact, since we use tang, this is citric acid, I believe, was the leading, is what that mostly is besides water. So that's why there's such a significant difference between what you're drinking when you drink the molarity wise of flavor enhancer versus how the molarity of sugar in a drink mix, because sugar, obviously, it's going to have a higher concentration than something that's sugar free. So the next biggest thing in a sugar free drink would be citric acid. That you don't necessarily need to know. That's what I was going to replace this question number 4 with, since we really didn't get this to work out as well. All right, that's more than enough and more than you probably wanted to hear. So you should be able to now fill out this chart with your M1V1 equals M2V2. And remember, this was a concentration issue when we were using that very concentrated tang. And in this situation, the molarity is when we had a weighed out solid and we had to convert that to moles and then divide that moles by the liters. So I hope that helps. And like I said, this shouldn't take but 20 minutes to finish this up. See ya.